All right, guys, today we're gonna be talking about kit. I got my good friend Colin. He's gonna be going over his plate carriers and the reasons he set them up the way he did. If you've watched the channel for any time now, I've done a lot of different videos on kit with different individuals because I think it's good to get different perspectives. It always opens our mind up to maybe adjusting our kit, maybe stuff we haven't heard of, or making changes, etc. That being said, my good friend Colin, he's gonna go over his setups.
I'm going over this plate carrier first. This is an LBX plate carrier. I've had it for a while. I ran it at Airsoft and stuff like that, and then also training. This carrier is pretty great. It's very durable, especially the straps up here. Like I've had other plate carriers not be so great in that department. It is pretty thin too. It's nice and lightweight, and it conforms to my body pretty decently. One thing that I didn't like about it when I first got it is the cummerbund system. It kind of sucked. This is an older one too. It's from like 2015, 2016. So the cummerbund system wasn't awesome. I like sort of jerry-rigged the Faro concepts on here with some tape and super glue, that kind of thing. Moving on to the actual kit. Inside I have West Coast Armor plates. I think they're 3As. And I have T-Rex plate backers behind them. Those are great. I love them. I have it in both of these carriers. I absolutely love them. They're so comfortable. They add a lot of breathing space. Something to note, if you're gonna eventually get plate backers, I would highly recommend getting plate backers if you don't have them. That is a huge save for me, at least. I have a Bees Combat System placard on the top here. It's really easy to take stuff out. Nothing's coming out. This is pretty great. I like this a lot. I've only been running this for a little bit, and it's very nice. It was referenced in one of Tyler's videos with Lee from Barely Training. I would really recommend it. I think it's pretty awesome. Moving over to the back, I have got a Faro Concepts, a 2 pouch. I don't remember the name.
Sorry to interrupt. Was that placard, is that mollied on, or is that Velcro, or has that placard?
That is a great question. I Frankensteined this thing. So basically the way it works is, I'll take it off real quick. 2 seconds. So this plate carrier originally came, since it's so old, it has a Molly weave only on the front. It didn't have any Velcro. So this piece I got on Amazon for like $12. This little piece right here just weaves in. Put that down, put those buttons in.
So that adds Velcro capability to what would be a molly considered.
Exactly.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So I could just, slap this Velcro thing on. There's no molly on here. I wouldn't be able to use it without that. But back to it. This little piece right here, the Velcro, it's really nice for retrofitting older gear like this. If you have a molly only piece of kit, you can just, grab something like that on Amazon for 15 bucks and retrofit it so you can use more modern equipment. I did that on the back as well.
How's the retention on the, sorry, last one on the,
on
the Beast Combat. How's the retention on the mags? Have you ever had them fall out when you've gotten in certain angles? Sweet. Easy to reinsert?
Very easy to reinsert. Much
awesome.
Easier than the T-Rex arms.
Can you run paracord on there if you want to?
Paracord?
Or like a little bungee cord to retain them through those loops?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah, you can.
Sweet.
Compared to the T-Rex arms are pretty great because these you have to hit them with a hairdryer and like melt them and make them a little looser when you first get them. They're pretty tight. They're not T-Rex arms actually. I think they're S-Tac. S-Tac might make them.
Yeah, the Kydex inserts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these, I've modified these so they come out really easily. And going back in, they kind of get hung up sometimes because there's that plastic insert. It gets stuck. These are just in and out, super easy. These are great. I'm gonna move into the equipment I have on here now. So I have this little tourniquet holder on the bottom of the Bees Combat Systems. It comes with that placard. So you can just throw your tourniquets in there once you get your little placard without having to put something like a dangler or that Velcro insert. I guess it's good to have that if you want to take it off, if you decide you don't like it. But I think this works pretty decently, especially where it's positioned, just right here. Moving over, I have a little Sharpie here. Sharpie, you need a Sharpie if you don't have one. Get a Sharpie, they're cheap. This is a Covert Arms push-to-talk. Tyler did a video about that recently, very, very recently. I would recommend it, it's pretty cool. This little piece is a rat's nest of cable. I'll go over the cable real quick. I have my microphone stashed in here as well as the plug-in for the headset I have. This runs up on some zip ties. These zip ties keep the cables down. I have it with an alligator clip on the molly on the front of this plate carrier. Then it runs down behind the placard. There's some nice retention on the LBX carriers that you can use for multiple things. I have my wires stashed on them. Goes to the radio, This radio position, I don't know if I like. I think it's in a bad spot. I have it there since I'm kind of like baby's first steps with radio right now. So that's like an okay spot for me, but it's not super accessible. I don't think it's a great spot. So I think I might move it over here, even though I kind of hate that spot because I hate things like blocking my arms when I'm trying to do stuff. I haven't tried a radio pouch on the side. I've seen some radio pouches. That might help. I have a Baofeng UV5R, $25 throwaway radio program to repeaters and stuff like that, FRS channels, that kind of thing. I have a big old battery on here. Makes it look cooler, more tactical, Dash that back here. Like I said, that position's not great. All you can really do effectively at this spot is kind of actuate the knob on the top. You can't switch between your A and Bs. You can't switch radio stations on there in that position. So I wouldn't really recommend that spot. It's just there for me while I'm learning radio, while I'm learning to communicate with a PTT. That's just a safe spot for me right now. I think I'm gonna move it in the future though. I've got a little chem light, throwaway chem light. There's 1,000 reasons you should have a chem light. I have a little balaclava here for in case it gets windy, something like that. I don't know, some dust storm. We live in Southern California, so sand, debris, that kind of stuff gets kicked up depending on how windy it is. It could also be used for warmth if it's raining. We've gone out and shot during rainstorms, that kind of thing. That helps. Ready? I did not have this last time. Let me be clear. I did not have one last time we went shooting in the rain, and it sucked. My face was frozen. So I'm glad I have one now. I have a little notebook here just for taking notes. It's not a write in the rain. It's kind of, if it rains, I'm screwed. It is good, but it sucks if it rains. So I'm gonna hopefully get some write in the rains pretty soon here.
You could also, if you don't have one of those, just if you guys are looking for something to improvise as well, you could put it in a Ziploc bag, keep it waterproof a little bit.
That's a good idea. Okay, over here, we've got a little Thunderbee, Airsoft Thunderbee. When I've done some training with my buddies.
Have we used that when we ran CQB drills together as well? Is that the one we used?
It's identical.
Awesome.
It's like, it's the same, but it's, I've had this.
Great training tool for anything, if you're getting used to having to use bangers, anything like that.
I have this oriented a certain way. I have the pin sticking away from me so I don't get poked by it in case it does get bumped by something. It can get bumped by anything, a guy behind you. It could be a tree, it could be a wall, anything could bump it. Let's move to the back of this plate carrier. So the back of this plate carrier, I have equipped with a Ferro Concepts double pouch. I have the 2 zippers that kind of interlink into the MOLLE system on here. This is mostly for teamwork. This isn't something you should be using by yourself because you can't grab it. You can't take it off, essentially. If you're not able to take it off without a team member, there's no point in having one. So this is specifically to be used with other people in a team. Hopefully you have other people you can be in a team with. If you don't, if you're just a solo guy right now, first starting out, maybe buy a backpack or something and keep this in savings before you are in a group, before you're with a tribe of people, with your friends, that kind of thing, LARPing with your buddies. Buy a backpack if you really want to store certain medical or range toys, that kind of thing. If you have that need, is what I'm trying to say. So that was the reasoning behind having this on my kit in the first place, just working with a team specifically. I'm gonna go into what's inside of these. This is my medical. This is the larger one up top. I have more medical in here for someone else to access if somebody, God forbid, gets hurt. Someone else can come and grab this and then render aid. I do have, of course, tourniquets everywhere. Everyone has an IFAK on them, hopefully. Please get an IFAK if you don't have one. But this is mainly for someone to grab something real quick at like eye level so you can see what you're grabbing instead of like fumbling around for something else on your belt or on your backpack. I'm gonna go into what's inside of here. So I have my little microphone and plug-in. This little microphone goes into my helmet, covert arms. This plugs into my headset. Those two work together for me to be able to use that PTT in my radio to talk with my friends. And here, just various medical stuff. These are chest seals. If someone gets shot in the lung, you're gonna wanna put these on. That would suck, it's a bad day, that's why we have armor. Hopefully we can avoid getting shot in the lung. But if someone does get hit in the lung, maybe a bystander, civilian needs to render aid to someone, these will stop, hopefully stop that sucking chest wound that they may have. This is gauze or a bandage. Next, another bandage. This is a survival blanket. Just, it fits in there. So,
make shelter with it too.
You can make shelter with it. You can protect from rain. You can signal. This is a great signaling device. I think you can cut these up in light fires with them too, if you have to. Survival blanket. It's not a bad thing to have. It weighs nothing. This weighs nothing. Might as well have one on you, if you have the space. I have some gloves here, North American Rescue, whatever's. This is some compressed gauze. Stuff it into wounds if you have to, all that good medical stuff. I'm not a medical professional. I hope Tyler gets a medical professional on here soon. That would be cool. Get someone to talk about some medical stuff. That'd be pretty sweet. NAR gauze. Don't buy anything that's not North American Rescue or a reputable medical source because it is crap, probably. It's probably Chinese crap that will break on you. Spend the money to save someone's life, please. Next, we have more compressed gauze. And I also have a little pen in here. That's all my medical stuff. Next pouch, bottom pouch is just range stuff. Gonna go through this pretty fast. I have some cat crap for fogging goggles and stuff. You don't want to fog your goggles especially at night. If you can't see, you can't shoot, you can't help someone, you can't render aid. So have some anti-fog cat crap. This stuff works great. I've used this so many times, it's awesome. Miscellaneous stuff. I have batteries in here, electrical tape, a lens cloth, a lens cleaner, specifically meant for night vision lenses. Anyways, various stuff like that. Flashlight, cool little Surefire. This thing eats up batteries. It kind of sucks, but it's super bright, so it's a trade-off, I believe. Next, I have got some more chem lights just for interchangeability. If I use this one, I could swap it out, get someone on my team. It's great for marking stuff when you're shooting night vision as well. If you need to mark a target, if you need to mark a vehicle, if you need to mark a line of fire, especially, these are pretty cool. Next, I have got cool little T-Rex arms battery holder. I have various batteries for stuff that I use. I have it specifically tuned to be batteries that run out faster. Like I have a bunch of CR123s because this thing eats batteries. I have other things that consume 123s on my kit. I have a AA battery for my night vision. I only have one because it lasts about 50 hours for my PVS 14. So give or take 100 hours, swap it out every so often. These two are for my Ear Pro. I only have two, I should probably get more because the Peltors I have run out of battery super fast. And for good measure, I have another Velcro little light signature thing. Put that wherever you want. You can put that on anything with Velcro on it. You could also buzzsaw with it too if you have a string. Pretty useful little thing, especially if you want to mount it on something because you can't really do that without tape or string, I suppose, with chem lights. So that was my kit. This is my main training kit. If you have any questions, ask Tyler down below. Hope you enjoyed this kit. I think it's pretty cool. If you have anything that you think I should change, also let me know. That'd be awesome. Over to the T-Rex arms plate carrier over here on my right. This is pretty basic. It's not too in-depth. Most of their stuff is pretty great, just out of the box. I really like this plate carrier. I have the trauma pads in here behind the plates that I've got. These plates are Hasco plates. My front placard is pretty similar to this guy on my left. This is in progress. This is an in progress kit. This is meant to be sort of a grab and go, like someone in my immediate family or friends like needs help and the situation calls for, oh, I have to put on a plate carrier with like plates on it. Okay, I will grab this over this because on the back, I have this cool molly webbing from Whiskey 24, I believe they're called. This is pretty sweet. I've mounted my Haley Strategic backpack on here before. I have it unmounted though because I can just throw this on and then throw my everyday carry backpack on. And I've got so much stuff in here too that I can talk about in another video. Anyways, I have this clear for backpacks that I can take on and off and access the equipment inside. This is just plain old civilian self-defense, grab and go. I gotta put a plate carrier on because there's a threat that warrants this plate carrier. Back to the plate carrier. So there's no padding on these, I believe. These are just little covers. I wish they made these in multicam because I'd put them on here. Sometimes these Velcro straps kind of scratch into your neck. It kind of sucks. These are great. That doesn't happen on these. I have a little zip tie set up for comms if I do want to implement that for disaster type stuff. If you need to hear disaster radio, that kind of thing. I think that would be kind of useful, but that's, another video for another time. Moving over, I've got a tourniquet on here. This is all subject to change. Like I said, it's work in progress. And I have a lot of stuff in my backpack too. So that's kind of like the main workhorse for carrying stuff, aside from this fanny pack, which we'll get to. I have got another chem light. This is good for marking places, as in, hey, I am going into this building. I'm gonna leave a marker outside. Maybe tell EMS if they're inbound. They're at the house with the green chem light on it, if you can't get an address for some reason. This is a pretty nice tool for that. Also buzzsaw, also whatever you could possibly need a chem light for. Signaling, anything like that. I've got a pen on this side. Just another pen, a 1,000 things you can do with a pen. I have to get a little notepad on here too. That would be very good to have on here. Need to take notes for any reason. So I've got a knife here. It's very useful for everything you could do with a knife. I've got it in this little Kydex piece here, secured with a little flap on the end. It will not come out. It's pretty secured. I'm not going to be ripping it out. If I have to rip it out, it's pretty accessible. I got the front placard here from T-Rex Arms. They have these plastic inserts that retain mags really well. They will not come out. If you flip it over, if you fall, if you get knocked over for any reason, they're not coming out. Specifically, these ones that I had, some of them you don't have to modify, some you do. With these specific ones, I did have to modify them with a blow dryer or a hair dryer because they were super tight when I got them. So I blow dried or hair dried the little corner piece where they fold in on each other. If you hair dry that, you can bend them out and then they'll dry by themselves because like the plastic will melt. Once the plastic's melted, they're in that wider shape. So when you stuff them in, they'll still conform to that placard size, but it'll give you easier access when ripping it out. This is still pretty tight compared to the other one I've got here next to me. They're still pretty tight. I think that's good, especially for this grab and go kind of kit, because this can get rustled around in the back of a car. It can get thrown around, you know, wherever, honestly. This is a little different because it is meant for training. It is meant for working with a couple guys. I'm not saying that it can't get thrown around, but this has a higher likelihood of getting tossed around. So I want to keep it as minimal as possible. Less things on the outside, ideally. I will go into my fanny pack here, a little dangler. In this front pouch, I have got some zip ties. Zip ties are super useful. I made some little cuffs, you know, if you need to link two things together, if you have to detain someone temporarily, any reason, pull a little zip tie. I have this little pocket Bible from Covert Arms, pretty cool. They send that with every order. These are awesome. Big pouch, medical stuff, and Baofeng equipment. This plugs into your ear and into your Baofeng. I've got a short little radio antenna for the Baofeng in this little plastic bag so it doesn't get wet, doesn't get broken, that kind of thing. This is a trauma dressing from North American Rescue, gauze from North American Rescue. And I got some batteries, some CR123s. Some other things that I do want to get for this kit are going to be some ear pro, some basic in-ear ear pro. You could just plug them in, you're good to go. Preferably non-electronic because I don't want to worry about charging them. So that's everything I've got in this plate carrier so far. This is a work in progress. These are both works in progress. I'm learning every day, every time I go out training, all the time. So let me know if you think I should change anything, if I should add anything, if I should subtract anything from these kits in the comments. I will read them, I will see them. These have been my 2 plate carriers. So Tyler's gonna come on in and walk us out.
All right, guys, so that's going to be it for this video today. Again, it's always nice to get different perspectives, see why people set their kits up the way they do. That way we can make adjustments to ours, because like Colin said, kit is always a constant work in progress. You always want to adjust stuff, change stuff accordingly, and change it for your needs. Don't just copy this setup or other people's setups you see online. Take little tidbits from here, tidbits from there, and kind of make kit work for you. So yeah, I just want to say thank you, Colin, again for coming out and going over your plate carriers.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And again, like you said, if you have any suggestions or questions, make sure to shoot me a comment down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today, and thank you for watching.